You're listening to the Born to Kick-Ass podcast with Matt Tomasi and can be found at borntokickass.com/episode 1.
Welcome to the Born to Kick-Ass podcast, where you're introduced to the most fascinating people on the planet. Learn the ingredients of greatness that you can apply to your life. And now your host, Matthew Tomasi.
Today's podcast is brought to you by Audible.com. Get a free audiobook of your choice and a 30-day free trial by visiting borntokickass.com/audible. There's over 180,000 titles to choose from for your iPhone, Android, Kindle, or MP3 player. To download your free audiobook today, go to borntokickass.com/audible. Again, that's borntokickass.com/audible for your free audiobook. Welcome to the very first episode of the Born to Kick-Ass podcast. My name's Matt Tomasi and welcome aboard. So for starters, the domain name borntokickass.com, as you can tell I'm Aussie and we spell the word arse as A-R-S-E. So borntokickass, A-R-S-E.com, that's my primary domain. That's where my website and the podcast can be found. If you're a North American listener, borntokickass.com, that will redirect you to my primary domain of Born to Kick Ass. So you've got two ways of coming in. There's borntokickass.com or borntokickass.com. Either way, you'll end up in the same place. The main purpose of this podcast is I want to interview people who have demonstrated something inspiring, whether they're an elite athlete, an adventurer, an entrepreneur, an author, just your regular Joe Blow, someone who has demonstrated something inspiring, something that shows or tells listeners that they were born to kick ass. They're basically the types of people that I aim to interview. What I want to try and do is these conversations, I want to give you guys an inside look at their approach, their mindset, and what their secrets to success are. I want to find out what their motivating factors are and where they draw their inspiration from, what we can learn from their failures. These interviews aim to inspire you to take steps towards reaching your own goals, no matter how big or small. Whether you want to run a 5K or a half marathon or even your first marathon, or you want to do or complete an Ironman, or you want to run 100 miles, or you want to lose heaps of weight, or you want to get your dream job or start a new business, whatever it may be, these interviews with the people that I'm going to reach out to, hopefully you can get some tips or some techniques or get an insight into these people's approach to their chosen field, and whatever tips and techniques you can extract from these people during these interviews, hopefully you can implement these into your own life and help you to take steps towards reaching your own goals. That's pretty much the aim of the Born to Kick-Ass podcast and I guess the direction that I want to take this. Some of the themes that I will be discussing with various people that I interview will touch on failure, trying to get them to share any main moments in their particular endeavor or in their life that they've failed at, and try and get them to share what the failure was and what their steps were to overcome that particular failure and what their lessons learned were. So that's one of the themes I want to touch on. I also want to touch on time management, how they manage their day and prioritize their day. Another theme that I'll try and explore with guests includes motivation, find out what motivates them and where they draw their inspiration from. I also like to touch on aspects of the mind. What does it take to be mentally tough? Is that learned, or are you born mentally tough? Do they have any techniques they use when their mind starts to wander, particularly, like in an Ironman or an ultramarathon, or, when they're doing something? What do they do to bring their mind back to the present moment? Goal setting is another thing that I want to try and extract from guests, find out what their approach is to goal setting and how important they put that towards reaching something that they're aiming towards, what their proudest moments are, what their secrets to success are, and how important is self-belief and backing yourself. Advice, I like to touch on advice as well, find out what's the best piece of advice they've ever received, and what advice can they give to listeners. They're the types of themes that I want to touch on and try and extract from guests. If you know of any particular guest that you'd like to hear on the Born to Kick Ass podcast, I have a Suggest a Guest form, which can be found at borntokickass.com/suggest-a-guest. So if you head to that link, you can just fill out the form. And if you know someone, or if you are someone that has demonstrated something quite inspiring, just fill out the form, get in contact, and then we can get you on the podcast. Before I let you go, can I please ask that you do 3 things? Firstly, subscribe to this podcast on iTunes. Secondly, give a 5-star rating if that's what you think it deserves. Thirdly, please give a kick-ass review. So subscribe, rate, and review. That would be awesome. It helps to boost this podcast's visibility and helps to spread the word. Take care, keep kicking ass, and catch you next time.
Thanks for listening to the Born to Kick Ass podcast at borntokickass.com. What's stopping you from kicking ass?